Welcome to round 10 of the Banter Racing League on F1 2018, and we are here for the British Grand Prix in Silverstone. And Combined grabbed his first pole position of the season, and it's his third pole position of the league. He got it in 2017 Hungary Season 1, 2017 Malaysia Season 2, and this is his third pole, and it's his first in Silverstone, and he did a 126.8, which is about a tenth faster than Century. So yeah, he got pole position by almost a tenth from Century in second, then Fajrul in third for Renault, Lucky Racer in fourth for Haas, Agonza in fifth for Red Bull, Addy in sixth for McLaren, ahead of Vladimir Jagger in seventh for Mercedes, Waffles, that's Wesley, in eighth place for Ferrari, Savage in ninth for Toro Rosso, ahead of his teammate Ventrox in 10th, Cryptox in 11th, ahead of Ventrox in 12th, and then the Boom didn't qualify because he had a quali ban from crashing with Fajrul in the last race in Austria. So we are getting ready for the formation lap here in Silverstone, and it's round 10 of the season, and let's hope this is a very good race. And here we are with the formation lap. Combined gets away off the grid, and Century tucks behind his slipstream. And Lucky Racer is just got past Fajrul for some reason. And there is Agonza slowing up the middle of the pack. Addy behind, Vladimir Jagger as well. And Wesley and Savage and Ventrox. It's now Combined leads on the formation lap by quite a bit, quite a long way. And there is Fajrul in P3 at the moment. Well, he qualifies in third place. Let's see if he gets a good race. He has never had a good race in this league so far. He has actually not had a single good race. Maybe Spain was okay, but he still didn't have the greatest luck there either, so let's just hope he has a decent race. Fajrul even started from pole and second and third and whatever. He just still didn't get a good place. So he deserves some luck. Anyway, coming down towards Cops, and people taking some wet lines to cool the tyres down because of the dry line on the track, even though it's still raining. So the quali was dry and the race is wet, or it starts off wet and will transition to the dries in the middle to the end of the race. And Fajrul actually left the session because he was lagging on the formation lap, so he just decided to start without racing. So here we go, lining up on the grid for the start of this British Grand Prix. What is going to happen at the start of this race? Here we go. The 5 lights are coming on here in Britain. And it's away we go for the British Grand Prix. And Combined gets a good start from pole position. A very good start. He leads into turn 1. Century is in second place for Mercedes. Agonza takes third from 5th on the grid. And Lucky Racer is in 4th place. Vladimir Jagger in 5th for Mercedes. As now Combined leads into the loop now, and Century's on his inside, coming down onto the loop and into the Wellington Straight, and Century gets into the lead on the Wellington Straight, and Combined is in 2nd place. Agonza in 3rd place, just behind his teammate. Lucky Racer 4th, Vladimir Jagger 5th, Addy in 6th, then Ventrox, and then Fajrul, and Savage, and Wesley, then Cryptox, then the Boom, and then Ventrox. As now Jagger is going very wide out of the exit of left field there, and there's a Toro Rosso going very wide as well of Savage, and there's a Force India spun out on the exit of left field there, and it's Cryptox. Cryptox has spun out on the exit of left field. What has happened there? Meanwhile, as we come down towards Cops, there's Savage just ahead of Fajrul, as Century leads this race. Combined is in 2nd place with Agonza just behind him. Is he going to go for a move down towards the hangar straight? Agonza goes to the outside of his teammate, and Combined is just going to let him through there down towards Stowe. So Century leading just before the end of lap 1, and Agonza takes 2nd place from Combined in 3rd. Lucky Racer in 4th for Haas. Ahead of Vladimir Jagger in 5th place. We're looking at his nose cam right now, and Addy is in 6th for McLaren, ahead of Wesley in 7th, then the Boom in 8th. A good start from him, from 13th to 8th. Then Ventrox 9th, Savage 10th, Fajal in 11th, a very bad start for him. Cryptox 12th, and Rantix down in 13th. And here we go. Still looking at Vladimir Jagger now, and here we are. We have a yellow flag, and Ventrox has spun out in the exit of the final corner. That's going to lose him a position to Rantix and to Cryptox, and he's down at the back of the field. Meanwhile, Combined is struggling with his grip in the wet conditions. Who isn't struggling, to be honest? They're probably all struggling for grip in these conditions. Here we are with Lucky Racer on board with him, down towards Magazine Beckett's, and now on board with Combined down into the S's. And he's just keeping up with his teammate Agonza. Agonza's not really catching Sentry that much. So Sentry, obviously, the last time he led the race was in Monaco, where he lost his win after getting a penalty for hitting Combined on lap 1 and putting him in the wall. And he got 20-second time penalty for that incident. And he dropped down from 1st to 4th. First to 3rd, I should say. And there's contact there. Jagger has half spun there, but has saved the car. What has happened, sir? Has Jagger tried to go for a move on Lucky Racer, but failed? Let's see what's happened here. So Jagger has half spun. Maybe he had a collision with Lucky Racer. That's what I'm thinking there. And here's the replay. On board with Jagger, he is behind Lucky Racer coming down towards Vale, and he does dive up the inside. I don't think he actually intended to do that, and he hit Lucky Racer's side pod and half spun round. So he actually didn't, I don't think he actually intended to do that. He just went late on the brakes and hit the side of his car, and Jagger spun round. And here we go, the battle for 9th place. Savage has overtaken Thaboom after he made a mistake. But is Thaboom going to come back at him down to a stow? Savage defends the inside. Thaboom trying to go around the outside. Cryptox is right behind this battle as well. And here we go. Down towards Val now. Thaboom is trying to go on the inside. Savage runs very wide there. Thaboom tries to go on the inside there. Side by side. Savage and Thaboom. And now Cryptox trying to go on the inside into the final corner. Is this going to work out? No, it's not, as Cryptox has spun round and has pushed Thaboom off the track and spun himself around. Cryptox has spun round at the exit of the final corner, drops down to 12th place, and it all goes wrong for him once again, spinning on the first lap, and now spinning on lap 5, trying to battle with Thaboom in the final corner of this lap. So nothing's going right for the Force Indies at the moment. They're down in 12th and 13th. Meanwhile, the two Toro Rossos are side by side coming into Brooklyn's now. Rantix goes around the outside of Savage, coming into Luffield. Is he going to get this move? Is Rantix going to go on the inside and try and take 9th place from his teammate? And he's slightly ahead. And Rantix does get the place from Savage there into 9th place. So a very good move from Rantix in the Toro Rosso, past his teammate Savage. And here are the replays of the start. On board with Combined off the start. And he got a pretty decent start from pole. Sentry didn't get the greatest of starts. And Combined actually led into turn 1. But he actually lost the position as he headed down towards Loop. Here we go into Village, and he just ran wide of the exit of Loop there, and Sentry just went on the inside of him and got the lead onto the Wellington Straight. And there he goes. Sentry got the lead onto the Wellington Straight, and Combined dropped down to 2nd at the end of that lap. And on the Hangar Straight, Agonza would pass Combined, but we're not going to go all the way to that moment. So Sentry's just basically taking the lead straight away from Combined. On board with Vladimir Jagger off the start in the Mercedes. He started from 7th. And Agonza got a good start. He went past Lucky Racer off the line, and he went past Fajal, who was not even driving at this point after he left the session in the formation lap. He dropped a lot of positions through turn 2. Is now coming into Village, and you can see the battle between Combined and Sentry up ahead. And there you can see Sentry gets ahead of Combined. And Agonza right behind that, Lucky Racer right behind all of it. And Jagger's just seeing it all as well. And Jagger went from 7th to 5th. it was a good start from him as well. And a good start from Agonza moving up from fourth or fifth he was up to. I think fifth. Agonza started fifth and moved up to third. And Lucky Racer started from fifth and moved up to fourth. Alright, he stayed in fourth actually. And now on board with Savage off the start in the Toro Rosso. He started from ninth place. And he got a lot of wheel spin off the start. And he dropped the position to Rantix off into turn 1. And here we go, coming down towards into Village, turn 3. And Savage going up the inside of Wesley, but it didn't quite get him there. And you can see Fazal not driving there, so he actually overtakes him there. Fazal will be overtaken by everyone. But now here is Savage on the inside of Wesley. Coming into Brooklands, it was an easy move on the straight there. And Wesley tried to hold it around the outside, and Fazal's Ghost got overtaken. But it was actually a corner cut, which meant Savage had to give the position back to Fazal. And it was actually a big cluster that caused that. He had to let the Boom past, and he had to let Ventrox past, and Fazal. But Cryptox is nowhere to be seen at that point, so he obviously got spun before that incident happened. So let's see what happened to Cryptox now. He's overtaken Fazal there. And Cryptox is now behind Wesley, and he gets spun round by the Ferrari of the Boom there. So has the Boom caused his second incident in 2 races? He crashed into Fazal in Austria, and now he's just half spun Cryptox in Silverstone. Here in Silverstone, so could that be another incident for the Boom? And he's in risk of getting a race ban at this point. 5 penalty points after the incident in Austria. He got 2 of them, and he had 3 points, so now he has 5. If he gets 1 more, he gets a race ban, so... And that's from Germany, of course. Germany's the next race. So he gets a race ban from that race. As now here is Lucky Racer, all over the back of Combined. This is very struggling... Combined is really struggling for grip in the wet conditions. Is Lucky Racer going to try and get past him? Here we go. Combined actually oversteers a lot there. And now here is Lucky Racer trying to go to the inside of him, coming down towards Brooklands. Is this going to work? On the inside into Brooklands. Is he going to get P3? No, he's not. Combined holds it around the outside and keeps 3rd place. As now here is Lucky Racer once again coming down towards Luffield. And onto the old pit straight. And now down towards Cops. Here we go, Lucky Racer's really up the back of Combined. He's losing a lot of time behind him. I don't know why Combined is really struggling with his pace here. But it's quite interesting. But can Lucky Racer get past Combined into the hangar straight? He is quite close. Through Megazebek as we go. And Lucky Racer comes down towards hangar straight. And he's going to get the slipstream. And he's going to go to the inside into Stowe. Yes, he is. He's having a little look on the inside into Stowe. And here he goes up the inside of Combined into Stowe. They're going to go side by side around Stowe. There's a little bit of wheel banging, but Combined slows down to let him past. And Lucky Racer moves up into 3rd place with a great move into Stowe. That was a really good move into Stowe. Because even though they were wheel to wheel through that corner, Lucky Racer gets into the final podium place. Combined drops down to 4th place, and Agonza pits for the hard tyres. It's a little bit too early for the hard tyres. It's still wet on the track. So has Agonza made a strategical error here?
I don't know.
By changing onto the hard tyres, it's a little bit too early for that, to be honest.
I don't think
So let's see. Is it too early to go on the hard tyres? The next few corners will answer that question. Here we go into Village. And here Agonza has completely missed the apex and has actually gone off. And has lost the position to Rantix. And Savage has also gone off in the... He's gone way off there. But Agonza has made a strategical error here. The championship leader currently is down in 8th, and he's going to lose a lot of time to the leaders. Agonza, currently the championship leader, makes a strategical error changing to the dry tires. It's a very good gamble from him, but it's actually not paid off. It's not going to pay off. He is very, very slow around the track. He's very much struggling for grip. And Savage is actually gaining on Agonza, so it's definitely not a gamble that's going to work out, unfortunately, for Agonza. So, for Red Bull's sake, Combined will have to do all the work. And there is Savage going past Agonza, so this is just absolute shocking stuff from Agonza. He's down into 10th place. That's worthy of 1 point, so this is been a terrible call from Agonza, from the Red Bull team. And here we go, on board with Vladimir Jager on lap 13 of this race. And through Maggers and Beck as we go. Jager is very close to Combined. Is he going to get the move on Combined here? He's going to be very close now. Combined loses again out of the Maggers and Beckett's, and now here is Jager going to go to the outside of him. Combined defends the inside, and Jager goes to the outside into Stowe. They're going to go side by side through Stowe. Jager tries to go around the outside, and Combined touches Jager's wheel slightly there, but it's Vladimir Jager up into the podium places, moving up into 3rd place. And Sentry still leading this race, but by 12 seconds. Lucky Racer in 2nd place for Haas. When Vladimir Jager moves up into 3rd, ahead of Combined in 4th. Addy in 5th ahead of Wesley. And then Rantix and Savage and Fazrul in 9th. Ventrox and the Boom. And then Gonza, who made a strategical error. And then Cryptox down in last. And now here is Fazrul coming into the pits for Renault. What's this going to be a pit stop for? It's going to be for the mediums. So it's the dry period now. And Fazrul changes onto the mediums. So this is an interesting race now. Fazrul is the first to pit for the dry tires. As now, here we go with Combined, keeping up with Vladimir Jager still. As now, are they going to pit? No, they're not. Combined and Jager will not pit. Lucky Racer not pitting as well. So, lap 15 of this race. And Agonza still sets the fastest lap of the race of a 1:40.7. That's pretty quick. And he's actually gone to another set of inters. Addy goes into the pits. And Fazrul and Addy have both got a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. So, obviously they won't make another stop, so they'll be added to their race time. Anyway, Addy goes into the pits. He's going to change onto a set of hard tires. So he is going to go to the hards for this stint. It's going to be interesting. It's an interesting strategy between these guys. Rantix in the pits for Toro Rosso. And what tires is he going to go on? So obviously it is the crossover point now to change onto dry tires. Savage gets a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So 3 people have been done by the pit lane in Silverstone. Rantix changes to the mediums. And here is Savage coming into the pits. The Toro Rossos are double stacking. And Savage changes onto the hards. The blue tires, the hard tires. So everyone's going on to dry tires now. Ventrox has not yet done it. Nor has the Boom, nor has Sentry, Lucky Racer, Vladimir Jager, or Combined. They haven't done it yet. Nor has Wesley in 5th place right now. So yeah, Ventrox is still in the inters. So he hasn't pitted either. And Cryptox already changed onto the dry tires. So, and now Combined pits, and also Jager, and also Lucky Racer. So they all pit. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place in this race have pitted. And they're going to go onto the dry tires right now. They're going to go onto the dry tires. But what tires are they all going to go on? Jager goes onto the softs. So that's very interesting as well. Combined goes onto the mediums for that one. Combined's on the mediums. Jager's on the softs. And Lucky Racer is also on the mediums. So this will be a very interesting call from these guys. It's the 3 of them on different strategies, of course. Lucky Racer on the mediums and Combined as well. But Vladimir Jager has moved on to the soft tires. So he's going to be a lot faster than the guys in front of him. Well, Lucky Racer is going to be a very good stuff in front of him. And now here is Wesley trying to go up the inside of Jagger, coming into the loop. And Wesley gets that move done. And he's on the intermediates. So have they made the wrong call in this case? Why has an intermediate runner passed a dry tyre runner? Or maybe the dry tyres are just still warming up. Who knows? But Wesley has managed to pass Jagger on the intermediates. So that's actually really interesting there. And now the race leader, Sentry, comes into the pits. And he's got a 51-second gap before his pit stop. That's a very big margin. And Sentry is also on the mediums. So everyone is on the mediums except for Jagger, who's on the softs, Addy, who's on the hards, and Savage, who's also on the hards. As Jagger gets past Lucky Racer on the inside into the penultimate corner, Vale, and he gets up into 3rd place. But that's effective 2nd place because Wesley has not pitted yet. He is still on the intermediate somehow. Meanwhile, here we are with Sentry coming down towards Brooklands. And he's actually lost it there, and he's spun out. Sentry has spun out on the entry into, just on the exit of Brooklands, and it's a virtual safety car. So that's a weird one there. There's a virtual safety car, only for Sentry just spinning around on the exit of Brooklands. So there is actually no one spun out or crashed or anything. It's just a virtual safety car for basically Sentry spinning around. That was really weird. But that kind of saves Sentry's lead, because no one can go full speed. Because it went from 20 seconds, or like 28 seconds or something, and it went down to 18 seconds now to Wesley. And the DRS is now enabled, so Wesley will hit this lap, and now here is Fazrul, on board with Fazrul, just after the virtual safety car, and he is now going to go on the inside of Savage after he runs wide. And Fazrul gets into that position of 10th place. And now next up he's got Ventrox in the Force India. What's this going to be like? He's just going onto the Wellington Straight coming down towards Brooklands. And Ventrox is just ahead there. He's just lagging, obviously, because Fazrul's lagging in this race. And Ventrox runs a bit wide, and he's going to get a good traction there as Fazrul coming down towards the old pit straight. And down towards Cops, and Fazrul gets past Ventrox as well, so he gets past Savage and Ventrox in 1 lap, and he's got up into 7th place there. So it's a very interesting one. That's a very interesting pass there, and Wesley pits finally from the intermediate tyres, and he has changed onto the softs. He has rejoined behind Addy, and, 1 minute and 17 seconds in front of Faz. So that's quite interesting there. As now here is Cryptox unlapping himself from the Toro Rosso. So that is quite interesting there. So Cryptox unlapping himself from, I believe it's Savage. Because, yeah, it was Savage, because you can see that there's another Toro Rosso behind, and Savage is the Toro Rosso who's in front of, well, he's winning the current battle between the two Toro Rossos at the moment. Savage and Rantix are having a nice battle. As now here we are with Jagger, just lapped Savage as well, and he set the fastest lap of the race. So the track is definitely getting drier, and the laps are getting quicker at this point in time. And we have 5 laps to go in this race. Lap 21 here in Silverstone. Lap 21 and 5 laps remain. And here we go. Rantix is now very close to his teammate. Are they going to fight once again just like they did early on in the race? Meanwhile, everyone else is pretty much all alone. And I'd like to give information that the Lucky Racer actually had damage from rejoining the track. He slid into the wall because the dry tyres were a little bit slidey in the pit exit, and he slid into the wall and damaged his front wing, and that's going to lose him a lot of time to the Red Bull of Combined. So this is going to be very interesting. Now Agonza has DRS, and he's going to go to the inside of Ventrox, and he's got into 8th place. Agonza has got into 8th. He is making a comeback, but is this going to Is this going to be his finishing position, or will he catch Fazrul by the end of this race? We'll see about that. He definitely won't beat his teammate, so this will be the first race in which Agonza will be beaten by Combined since they became teammates. So on board with Addy, on lap 23, we have 3 laps to go here in Silverstone, and on board with Wesley now. And now Ventrox has spun out again. It's a horrible day for Force India. Cryptox down in last place, 1 minute 12 off the boom. And now Ventrox spins for a second time in this race. So I don't know what is happening with the Force Indias today, but it's quite concerning. Because they did very well in Austria, both of them. Well, at least Cryptox did. They finished 7th and 8th in Austria, and now they're down to 11th and 13th. So I don't know what's happening there. As now here is Wesley, very close to Addy. Is he going to get past him now? Coming down towards turn 1, Addy runs a little bit wide. Obviously Wesley's on the way faster tyres, the soft tyres, compared to Addy's hards. And Addy is desynced. Addy is lagging on the exit of that corner into the loop, and Addy has got back ahead. So Addy is really lagging there. So Wesley, it's gonna be hard for Wesley to get past Addy. As now into Brooklands we go. It's the last 3 laps of this race. Rantix and Wesley get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that's very interesting. And Sentry sets another fastest lap, a 1:33.5. But now these guys they're getting quicker. The laps are getting quicker. But who is going to get the fastest lap at the end of this race? We will find that one out later. As now here, Wesley is closer to Addy, but is he going to get past him here? No, he's not, because he's too far back to get the DRS. And well, he's got DRS, but he's too far back to make the move into Stowe. Lap 24 now. 2 laps remain in this race. As now into Stowe, Wesley is keeping up with Addy, but he's just not going to get past him. He's just, I think he's just too scared to get past Addy because of his lag. Meanwhile, back to the battle on lap 24 with Addy and Wesley. And here we go, down towards Brooklands, onto the Wellington Straight. DRS is available, and he's getting closer and closer. Wesley has a little look up the inside of Addy, but he's going to get past. No, he's not. And Addy holds it around the outside. Good defending from him. It's the hard tyre runner versus the soft tyre runner, and Wesley is clearly faster. Sentry sets another fastest lap at 1:32.7. And now here is Addy defending down towards Cops from Wesley. Here we go, coming down towards Cops. And Wesley is going to try and get some good traction out of the S's to try and get past Addy for 5th place. I should say Wesley's already in 6th place. As now here you are with Addy. And no, he's not going to be past him in this straight at this point in time. So lap 25, the penultimate lap starts for Sentry. It's going to be his first proper win in this season, after his win in Monaco is taken away by a penalty and given to the man on the screen we're watching right now, Wesley. And so he's going to take his first proper win this season. And Agonza sets the fastest lap at 1:31.4, and Thaboom is getting lapped by his teammate Wesley and by Addy. So it's very interesting there. As now into the S's, Addy runs very wide, but Addy is lagging once again, and there he goes. Addy is lagged, and Wesley, that's just cost him time. That's just ridiculous. Wesley can't get past Addy just because of his lag. This is ridiculous right now. So now the final lap is starting, and you can see the gap between Combined and Lucky Racer is just less than a second now. So Lucky Racer's damage has really cost him. Combined is going to overtake him on the last lap for sure. Here we are on board with the Red Bull of Combined. Here we go, coming down towards Brooklands onto the Wellington Straight as well. Combined coming into Brooklands, but he's not going to get past him. And Rantix has retired on the final lap of the race. The Toro Rosso driver has retired on the last lap of this race. We were looking at the first race since, I don't know actually, when the last race in this league we had with no retirements. We were looking at a race with no retirements today, but Rantix has just retired on the last lap for some reason. There is absolutely no reason why he would have, because he didn't crash out. And Sentry comes across the line, and he's won the British Grand Prix. It's his first proper win this season after his win in Monaco was taken away. And it's a very dominant win from the German in the Mercedes. Meanwhile, Combined is to the outside of Lucky Racer. Into Stowe goes round the outside of the Hungarian in the Haas. And Vladimir Jega comes across the line in second. It's going to be a Mercedes 1-2. It's going to be the first 1-2 for a team this season as well. And Jega crosses the line. It's a Mercedes 1-2 today. And Combined has penalties, so he's going to cross the line in third. But Lucky Racer will be third place. And Combined will be fourth. And will have the fastest lap of this race. He got pole position and he got fastest lap. Meanwhile, Addy is going to finish ahead of Wesley. And here we go, coming down towards the final corner of Club. As now here is... Oh no, Addy's actually ran out of fuel and Wesley has beaten him over the line. Wesley has taken 5th place from Addy over the line. Addy has crossed the line for 6th place. Over the line there, Addy ran out of fuel. And that puts Wesley ahead of him. So despite the lag that Wesley could not get past him, it was... Wesley's finished ahead anyway, thanks to Addy running out of fuel. Sentry celebrates his first proper win this season, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 in this British Grand Prix. Jagger celebrates P2, and Lucky Racer in the Haas, despite having front wing damage and losing the position to Combined on the last lap, takes 3rd place anyway because Combined had penalties. Sentry wins by 26.5 seconds. That's the biggest gap so far this season for sure. Vladimir Jagger in 2nd place to make it a Mercedes 1-2. Then Lucky Racer in 3rd for Haas, ahead of Combined in 4th from pole position. Wesley in 5th place for Ferrari. Addy in 6th for McLaren. Fadril in 7th. Agonza in 8th. A strategical error from him. Ventrox in 9th, ahead of Savage in 10th. The Boom finishes again in 11th. And Rantix did not finish. And Cryptox finished behind him. And finish in last. Agonza leads the championship still, but only by 27 points from Vladimir Jagger in 2nd. Sentry is 50 points behind his teammate. Then Combined stays 4th, only 6 points behind Sentry. Then Lucky Racer is in 5th, 4 points behind Combined. Then Wesley in 6th place, ahead of Wattmaster, then Ping, then Addy, Fazril, Cryptox, and Ventrox. We're separated by 1 point, then Savage and Rantix, and then Harry Tech and Thaboom in last place at the moment, which is basically 16th. So hopefully you enjoyed that British Grand Prix. It was an interesting race. And the next race is the German Grand Prix in Hockenheim. It's the first German Grand Prix in BRL since the 2016 race. So let's hope that's a very good race. So see you then.